So that's the problem with not recording the open mics, is I don't have that on tape. All right, again, this is Canton's First Friday Poetry Spectacular, coming to you live from the Karma Cafe. Tonight's feature is Lori Ann Kusterbeck, whose new book, Backwards and Forwards, is now available. For those of you not actually here in the cafe, you can order it at boutique.poetshaven.com. And there's free shipping if you enter NPM as a discount code at checkout on all orders. National Poetry Month. That special ends at the end of April for obvious reasons. Lori Ann Kusterbeck's first poem was published when she was just age 12. As a teen, she had over a dozen poems featured in the Cleveland Plain Dealer. How many poets get their work in the Cleveland Plain Dealer, a major newspaper? Come on. She received a bachelor's in philosophy from Baldwin Wallace and completed her Master's of the Arts at Cleveland State University. She now teaches philosophy and humanities classes at Cuyahoga Community College. Ladies and gentlemen, Lori Ann Kusterbeck.
I really hate to follow that up. That was amazing. So I have a confession to make, and I probably shouldn't since it's live and streaming, but I'm a not-so-closet poet. I have a blog, sincerelylori.com, and I publish there, and I put it out on Facebook, and I tell all of my friends, hey, I actually did this thing, this like amazing thing that somebody thought was worth publishing, and I'm actually really glad to see none of my friends here. I had to force my family, my son and fiance, to come, so, you know, their support. But I've been writing for so long that I think so much of it really does become personal. And to really share it with people of my outside life gets complicated. And I think scary to open up that kind of emotion to people that I consider friends, but this is kind of like my guarded heart and secret. So as much as I wanted to promote the hell out of it, and I kind of did, I'm still glad to see some not here. Then I don't have to face their speculation. So this is called Backwards and Forwards. I've had this title for about 10 years. I created it in my teens along with a list of a ton of titles that I plan on using in that proverbial someday. And when Vertigo was asking for submissions, I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. Let's pull some stuff together. And then becomes a very long, tedious process of figuring out which ones you actually want to submit and which ones you think are good enough and which ones you actually want to show off that make no sense, that will only make sense in something like this. And then once it was submitted and forgotten about and then reminded, oh, hey, we want to publish it, realizing I've written so many better things since then. Yeah, so I had some of those moments as well. So I do want to say thank you, Vertigo, for all of your effort. He did the lovely cover art, my title, but his creation. I wanted something kind of steampunk, and he rolled with it quite well. So thank you very, very much. And for all of his help, I never realized what an editor did until he started actually critiquing some of my poetry, which was a first for me, of going, well, why is it like this, and why isn't it like this? And I'm like, oh, thank you. So thank you. I'm going to read a couple from here. I'm going to try to keep my eye on the time. The first one is called Blank Page. A lot of them in here do reference words and poetry specifically. I did try to keep it somewhat coherent. Blank page, blank start, spark me into motion, let the wheels burn. A different time gone past, I thought I knew the price of everlasting. The beauty of the blank page entices me, entangling me in her long locks, pulling me against her marble-esque stature, draining from me my very soul. Potion, beauty, charm, I was never one to fall for such petty things. Magic weaver, where has my faith gone? Did God slip out the back door as she came in, weaving a trail of magic across this, the beautiful blank page? I am not ready to read the part of myself that I once revealed, once upon a time. That poem has now been forgotten, put in the box to be silenced, until the day, this day, when it comes out, begging me to be alive again, but no, send it away from me. Images fading faster than a snowflake underneath the heat of the lamp, only able to grasp the details for a moment. Irony, as I gaze at the empty page before me. We all wonder at the marvels of creation, the rise and fall of the tide. Maybe she'll reveal them to me. For a price, of course, nothing comes for free. Forever attempting to claim and chain, control and seduce the muse, and conquer the blank page. So if you should see it, page 5 is intentionally left blank to follow the blank page poem after some wonderful advice from my editor and
something you accidentally did in the manuscript that I thought was on purpose.
oh yes, and something I accidentally did when I submitted it and didn't realize and he thought was on purpose. So yes. Happy accidents. So my other random story is in my early 20s, and God, I can actually say in my early 20s, I had a friend who was the queen of karaoke. I think she must have had a microphone in her hand since age 3. And I envied that because she knew how to not only sing, but speak into the microphone, which is something I never learned how to do. I'm a professor. We don't use mics. We purposely talk loud so you can hear us. So all this as I'm learning how to learn to use the mic, sorry. This is called Words. A dry bed of dead words, bloated and blue, rustle like fallen leaves in the alleys of my mind. Homeless, they wander, looking for a corner store to get a free cup of Java and reflect on what they used to be and might have been. Used up, washed up, overlooked, and undersaid, they huddle together for warmth and company in a little cardboard box. While the more important parts of the vocabulary strut around in pinstripe suits, drinking espresso and living in penthouses, they all have Webster's number. They all end up the same, overlooked and undersaid, washed up, used up, forgotten. Damage control. I can't do this. How difficult it has become to connect with my soul. The words won't flow, my muse has fled, and so it's up to me alone to clean up this mess of words that from me has bled. It puddles on the paper, uninterestingly, tiny little corpse of type for all. I feel the connection, that fragile bridge that mends the gap, mind to heart to soul. Oh, when did I lose track? Cast aside my map and carelessly tread, not caring to look back. Do enemy hands hold her hostage against my seeming will? Do I care enough to stand up to this supposed enemy, to kill? Desire lurks in the shadows wanting to join part, and my muse screams at me to get a grip and take back my heart. I've wandered too long in the shadows without hope. I play my music now too loud. I can't hear them outside my door, and I wonder why I can't write anything good anymore. I've fought the battle with intent to win. They pat me on the shoulder and take from me my pen and bandage my wounded soul. For I said that I can't, and yet I did, driven onwards by something unseen that lives within my soul. Still, 4 words are too hard to write. The words tell me where to go. My muse knows the way. She guides me for a spell, all the while looking backwards. So I'm also a poet for hire, I guess you would say. I did have a bunch of poems published in the Plain Dealer's Next section in the 90s. They asked for submissions, and I happened to be one of the ones regularly featured. I found out why later on when talking to the editor at the time, and she said, well, your poetry is easy to read. In those very early days, I was very Dr. Seussian and very like Edgar Allan Poe, that A-B rhyme scheme, which looks nice in print and is easy to read. So when I found that out, I started writing them on purpose, submitting them weekly for that $20 paycheck per poem, because gosh darn it, I was 16, and well, that was just exciting to open up Monday's edition and see my name in the column. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, almost every week. So when I discovered that I kind of had that knack, I realized I had a knack for kind of writing for other reasons. I'm good when somebody gives me a topic, like on velvet feet. Or this particular one, called Lullaby for the Storm, was actually written as a devotion for a young adults group I was in for a weekend. It's Lullaby for the Storm. Shh, child, it's all right. The storms, they come and they go. Open the window, take a deep breath, breathe in. Can you smell that? The rich scent of Mother Earth moments before she opens up her sky to fall on all of us below. Shh, child, it's all right. The thunder claps in the distance. Come to the window. Watch those dark clouds far off roll in. Can you hear that? The low rumbling sound from deep within. The pressure accumulates, accelerates, and explodes above our heads. Shh, child, it's all right. The lightning flashes so briefly. Look out the window. As the dark world becomes illuminated, can you feel that? Such power, such intensity, so momentary. Embrace the charge of the atmosphere. Let it recharge your spirit and energize your mind. Shh, child, it's all right. The rain, it washes us clean. Step outside the window. Feel. Feel the warm, gentle rain drip drop upon your forehead. Smell the earth. See the lightning. Hear the thunder. Stick out your tongue. Taste as you catch a drop. Feel the gentleness wash you through and through. Breathe in deep. And then as the sky releases her clouds, so too let it go. Let it all go. Shh, child, it's all right. The storms pass through when we let them, leaving us charged, cleansed, with the ability to start again. So this would be one of those poems that looks really neat on paper that has actually 3 different ways to read it. It's called Flicker. You can either read it left side altogether and then right side altogether, or in between, and it was kind of written to do kind of both. And Miss Skylark Bruce is kind enough to step up and take half for me. This is called Flicker. This time you let go, and I stayed put in shadow. Next time I'll hold on, and you can dance in shadow. Then maybe for all time we can turn our shadows into light.
Candles on the water, trying to catch fire. What ignites your soul, consumed with desire, watching till the end? Match unstruck, waiting for a turn. Who do you burn for? Trying not to learn with closed eyes. A glimmer of hope spread like oil. What do you see? Casting aside doubt, no more inequities.
This time,
Candles on the water,
you
trying to catch fire.
let go,
What ignites your soul?
and I
Consumed with desire,
stayed put
watching till the end.
in shadow. Next time,
Match unstruck,
I'll
waiting for a turn.
hold on,
Who do you burn for?
and you
Trying not to learn
can dance
with closed eyes.
in shadow. Then maybe,
A glimmer of hope
for all time,
spreads like oil.
we
What do you see?
can turn
Casting aside doubt,
our shadows
no more inequities.
into light. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and thank you for the impromptu. This is In the Dusk Before Dawn. I laid in your arms and cried oceans of tears. You were too frozen to respond. I spilt blood to express the tides of this past year, yet you were already gone. In the pale dusk that sets in just before the coming dawn, I'll meet you there. You accused me of leaving before the flood, that I failed to rescue your drowning heart. You charged me with crimson neglects, regrets, that I faltered constantly right from the start. In the ghastly dusk that storms in just before the creeping dawn, I will play your sacrifice. We were never really anything more than tattered dreams, wrapped in the shards of our bloodied pasts. We were never really anything of substance, just another dream not meant to last. In the dusk that gathers the morning dew, as the dawn begins her awakening, we shall dance and make ourselves anew in the dusk before the dawn. Keep track of time. Along with words comes my muse. I always talk about a he and a she, and she is some aloof, cold, foreign creature, and he, well, he starts on page 31. This is inspiration part 1. He comes to me on a breeze. Can't seem to get his whispers out of my head. What was it he said? Something about lost love, heartache, and pain, and the fact that life is a dream. What does that make him? Some sort of god of my own private hell, twisting the images behind my eyelids at his will. He likes to make me smile. I dream of him too often, too few. I find solace in his embrace as we lie together along the lake. But when twilight fades into the ever-pressing dawn, so does he, leaving me with a taste of sugar and salt on my lips where his kiss had been. I open my eyes to the harshness of the day to find him faded completely. He becomes just another pronoun, just another remembrance on the wind. He. Part 2. I flipped through the radio stations looking for some divine inspiration, intervention. My muse has packed his bags again. He hates the cold. Off on his big bad bike into an ever-fading sunset. He's left me with an empty cup of creativity. My soul forces me to write. My heart cries because it's sheer pain to not have him guide my hand and mind. Spellbound and hopelessly dependent, his absence wreaks havoc upon me, and it does what it will with my few words and ideas. And then part 3. He's returned! Yay! Back from the sunset on his big bad bike, I thought I'd lost him to the sands of forever. I had looked so hard for so long in all our favorite spots, park benches, restaurants. I thought he was gone for good since when he left. He took from me my love, my muse, my creativity. The winds, they'd taunt me, bring to me the smell of his aftershave, the soft rain of his laughter, the way he'd say my name. Came to, awoken from this dream of sorts. These months he's been away has left me with a new-found sense of glory, of hope and despair, the longings of a lover, the anger of the wronged. I forgot it had been so long, until he took one look at me, and in flowed my missing creativity. My muse is back. There are some poems that you read, and they have a name, and you think it makes sense, and then you look and you realize, why did I name it that? And then sometimes it's powerful enough that you're like, all right, I'm gonna give that one some poetic creativity license and let it flow, and hope nobody really asks you why you named it that, because you won't have an answer. No. This one's called Jericho. Little earthquakes and the walls came tumbling down. So many thoughts and hopes and dreams tacked to the walls, crumbled now like fine sand. Dust envelops the wreckage, a hazy maze of unwritten words resting under fallen timber, lay still, lay quiet, lay forever unfulfilled. Barefoot, tiptoeing around in my nightdress, ribbons frayed, hem stained, dew tickling my tootsies. Around in dreamscapes I still find you. Feel your breath grasp my neck. I can still hear you telling me to hold on. But I'm gone. My dream has been put to rest privately, and I still don't want to wake up. I still don't want to grow up. She is but a ghost long ago who took flight against the wind, threw up her hands in desperation and let go. What moved in, what moved her, moves me now. Makes me smile, stained hems and all, happiness, contentment, and the most fearsome of all, hope. Sways me, compels me forward toward big girl dreams, big girl hopes and fears, big girl realizations that all this time I've already been doing it on my own. I've done it on my own as a lady. This is called Stagnant. Oh, Alice, how deep did the rabbit hole go? A roller coaster ride of slip and slide, and there I am, alone again. I related much more than I thought I would. I cried so much more than I thought I should. Can't find a way up or out, if only I could. So I went to a shrink, which was of no help. I logically reasoned things out better than any other patient she'd seen. I know my faults. I don't try to hide them. I don't pretend. I know the boundaries. I know reality and fantasy. There's just me. And right now, I'm stagnant. And it's driving me crazy. There's no rebellion, no hell to be raised, no white picket fences or happily ever after, just the day-to-day mundane. That seemed so much better when school was in session. I really don't feel like learning any more of life's precious lessons. There's nothing more that this philosophy chick needs to encounter. Just let me be happy. And then there are days that I am. There are days in long skirts and bare feet on soft sand, cloud gazing. There are days when hope is strong and finding a place where I belong seems promising. But the day passes and then the next, and I'm still stagnant. Ennui. More than boredom, more than restlessness, more of a cry of, what do I do? And no answer echoes. Just more blackness as I plunge further ahead, chasing long ago faded dreams and wishes and hopes. You were there once holding my hand, and I clung to your blackness something fierce because it was so lovingly familiar. You understood. You were a resting point for my weary head more than you ever knew you were. My twilight. Another bridge crumpled, abandoned to ruin, neglected, and I have no one to blame but myself. And stubbornly I trod on. What else is there to do? Do you know? Who is John Galt? What happens after the awakening takes place? Oh, Alice, tell me, was there ever a time you wished you could do it all again? Waiting for time. So I kind of write about Alice a lot. Who doesn't? Yeah, who doesn't? The sad thing is I don't think I've ever fully made it through a lot of Lewis Carroll's books. I remember reading bits and pieces and bits and pieces and bits and pieces, and I don't know if I've started from beginning to end. But there was a wonderful book I was introduced to about a computer that woke up with a consciousness, and the computer's name was Alice. And it was a time when The Matrix came out, and it really threw me for a trip because I really liked The Matrix. And then I ended up writing about Alice a lot and rabbit holes just because then I really liked all of the weird hidden connections if you watched The Matrix. So, yeah. Waiting for time. Time waits for no woman. Always spiraling towards some uncertain chaos, we wait. Oh, Alice, how did it feel tumbling down the rabbit hole? In my whole life, I've never met a girl sweeter than you. The daily grind, hours approaching, minutes pass, we wonder, what if? What if? What if? I waited and you never came. Rain poured down and soaked me through, and still there was no sign of you. I chased after shadows and clutched onto seconds like a vital elixir of life, never understanding that life was passing me by with each tick, tick, tick of the clock. Now I sit back on my heels and wonder, where did that time go? Why did I subject myself to all of that waiting by the precious hour hands of your clock? All of the white rabbits controlling my puppet strings, and I, such a silly Alice, chasing after them all. Spiraling forward into the here and now, I get it. Hindsight is 20/20, and I can see with perfect vision the reason for it all. Gazing at the hands that will forever hold my heart, embracing the cosmic irony that weaves itself through the universe, smashing every single instance of time to make time stand still, now that I've found my one true love. So the other thing about my writing, since we're just going to do a complete confession while we're up here, I don't write a lot of dirty stuff. Well, and if you knew me when I was in junior high, they all thought I was like the pervertedest of them all, which was kind of funny. And then when I write, I hardly swear. I don't really talk about sex. And all the really fancy stuff I hear in other, competitions of all this anger and angst, and I'm like, wow, it's just not there. This is one of the, I think, raciest that I get, which will, show you how exciting some of my writing is. But I guess I use other avenues. I will believe in the threads of life, the tiny details that hold us together. Someday, we will be together. The little girl in me will hold a rose for your memory. Emotion spreads easily through the sands of time. I talk as though I've seen it all, yet I know better. Destiny, so it would seem, weaves her hips through my art, fucking at will everything I believe, the best friend whore of it all. She's a traitor, just reflecting back to me all that I am. I will believe, I will go where she goes. Into the light, deeper into the darkness. I enjoy the fucking, the coming together just to fall apart. I'm always falling apart. Starting at the end, work your way back to the beginning, backwards and forwards. Backwards or forwards. Look for me in there somewhere. I'll be holding a rose for your memory. Can I end with one? Okay. I think I'm actually ending much earlier, but I've had my say of what I wanted to read. So thank you for all for showing up and being great supporters as I bear some soul stuff there. This is actually called Stray Cat Strut, which was from the On Velvet Feet collection, which had some really amazing poems in it from other poets in the area. So if you haven't grabbed yourself a copy, please do so. There's a website you can order things at if we want a shameless plug, which is, I don't remember off the top of my head. Oh, the Poet's Haven, yes. Google the Poet's Haven will come up. Stray Cat Strut. Stray cat strut. Feline arch on hind legs. Single cat march through the side streets, looking for a place to curl up in the sun. Been here before. Benny boy got picked up by Goldilocks girl, taken in. He's living the good life. I'm still trying to get by. Underneath a swing set in another yard, watching the shadows play against the garage. I smell old dog, but don't see one. Won't be hanging around here long. There's a rundown old house on a rundown old block where a sweet little granny lives. She feeds me scraps once in a while. Granny ain't been out lately. I scratch at the door. A meow, or two, or four. She doesn't appear. Fat Brad opens the screen with a, "Ew, hey, shoe cat," and I'm off like lightning. Seems like I'll be looking for another free handout spot. Yeah, some days are like this. The neighborhood's changed. I've changed too. Got a hole in my ear from Jojo the Mutt. Got a nick in my tail from the city man's cut. But my claws survived, and I've got all 9 lives, so I'll be pushing on tonight. Gotta keep moving with my stray cat strut.
I just noticed somebody's shoes are up here.
They actually are mine.
Okay. So out of everybody that submitted work for On Velvet Feet, Lori, you're the only person that I suspect knew where the title came from before I said where it came from. Is that true? Excellent. On Velvet Feet? No. Lois Weekly McKay. It's a poem called Night. It was actually printed in The Crow. It's the only place I've been able to find anything by that author. Night. My kitten walks on velvet feet is the first line. That's where the title came from. Lori has a image from the Crow film as her header image, whatever they call it, the thing at the top on her Facebook page. Banner. Yeah, cover. There we go. All right. I was sitting there listening to her read rather than lining up judges, so I'm a little behind schedule here getting our judges lined up. But there's only a few people here that aren't competing, so I'm going to hand you all clipboards. All right, there we go. 5 judges. All right. Normally, I get up here and I do the sacrifices because I don't ever actually compete, but we've got a treat for you tonight. I won't be sacking. Sacking, not sucking. There aren't enough single women here for me to try. Our current Lake Effect MPS qualification point leader, Red, is here and has decided to not compete. She will instead be tonight's sacrifice. She's our point leader. She already has enough points to guarantee a spot at finals. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's sacrifice, Red.
I really enjoyed the feature. Let's give her a hand. This is a poem that I worked on and laid down, and now I'm picking back up. So you let me know how you like it. Wondrous child, I see you looking up at me as you learn to walk. Big brown eyes so full of glee, soaking in so much from me. Mannerisms, attitudes, expressions. My only hope, though, only soak up the very best parts of me. Wondrous child, I see you looking up at me as I teach you to pray or maybe just to play fairly. Big brown eyes full of tears as I chase away your childish fears. No boogeyman in the closet, and I feel like a hero as I chase away your bad dreams. But no more scary movies, no matter how much you beg. My wondrous child, I see you looking up at me. How time does fly. Now so big and strong, so beautiful to me. Big brown eyes full of expectations. I can't believe it's prom night already. We've had the talk, yes, about the birds and bees, and here I sit praying and waiting that you wait until you're married. Wondrous child, now I look up at you to see those big brown eyes looking down at me, my chest so full of pride for this person that stands beside me. I've taken some painful paths I hope you choose not to take. You see, wondrous child, I have so much still to teach. But I see, like most teens, you know just about every damn thing. I can testify that me and your big brown eyes have had our share of tears, jeers, happiness. Oh, Lord, I blinked and 20 years went by. And here's my wondrous child looking up at me with big, brown, beautiful eyes. You look just like my child. You look just like my child. I'm sorry, I messed up that last part. Wondrous child, I see you looking up at me with big, brown, beautiful eyes. My God, you look just like my child, my pride. But now he's your father. Even still and always, he will be my wondrous child.
All right, judges, this is the part where you put a score on that nifty board and hold it up for me to see. You can give me a score anywhere from 0 to 10. 0 being, dear poet, don't ever write again. 10 being, the most mind-blowing thing you've ever heard. You can use a decimal point, please keep it to one decimal number, no weird scores of pi or anything like that. All right. Set whatever criteria you want to go by, and use that same criteria for the entire slam. Traditionally, you say half of it's performance, half of it's poem, but just set your criteria and stick to it. That's the most important thing. Don't let your scoring drift up as the slam goes on. Score creep is the enemy. All right. All right, from low to high, our sacrificial poet has an 8, an 8.2, an 8.5, an 8.7, and a 9.5. Give it up for Red. All right, that's the last easygoing carryover that our judges will get. From here on out, as soon as the poet's done, get those scores up so we can keep the slam rolling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's first competitor is Deacon Turner.
Not really a deacon. I just chose a name tonight. This poem is about my little city called Akron, Ohio. And it was something that happened after church, so I'm going to go ahead and do the poem. It's called 25 Cent. Sunday after church, I often go to the store, but this Sunday was a little different than before. You see, I came across a man, and he said, "Hey, brother, can you spare a little change?" In my mind, I wanted to say, hell no, I ain't giving you a dime. You got to work for yours like I had to work for mine. Well, like I said, I was just coming out of church, and a little change wouldn't hurt, so I reached in my pocket, and I had a $20 bill and a quarter. Yeah, he got the quarter. But as that quarter left from my hand into his, it became more than just 2 dimes and a nickel. You see, when I put that quarter in his hand, he looked up at me and he said, "God bless you." And right then, God did. Because it took me back to when I was just a little kid and when 25 cents made you rich. Remember before you had kids and bills and was paying rent? When a candy bar only cost 25 cents? In those long, hot summers, we all run home if mom would take us up to Strickland's for ice cream cone. Sit back for a minute. Let your mind roll back to before Underoos and Thundercats, when old broomsticks was baseball bats and real players only drove Cadillacs. When it was me and you versus all of them and them scraps after school by the jungle gym. I'm sorry, I messed up myself. Remember them scraps after school by the jungle gym and later on in the summer when we all got cool. Remember pissing in the water at Perkins Pool? Remember those house parties we could never miss, coming home at dawn being drunk and shit? And the soapbox derby was Akron's biggest event. We watched it on TV, but we never went. But then the Easter Civics, oh my Lord, it was like the ghetto version of the Grammy Awards. And we get dressed up and dropped off looking fresh and clean and matching John Wayne shirts and Stonewashed jeans. And the worst problems that we had weren't quite as bad as they seemed after a warm box of Glaze from Krispy Kreme. You know, I often sit and wonder where all that time went before I had bills and kids and was paying rent when a candy bar only cost 25 cents.
All right, judges. All right, from low to high, we have a 7.5, an 8.5, an 8.8, a 9, and a 9.2. Our sacrificial poet, Red, had a score of 24.9 after a 1/2 point time penalty. Our next competitor is Phoenix Clouden.
Open letter from your sweatpants. Hey, motherfucker! You remember me? I've been thinking about you while I was in and you was on the outs, playboy. Hey, so what's been good? Uh, uh, you don't want to speak to it? It's cool, it's cool, it's cool. Hey, remember when we was in second grade though? How grandmas didn't want you to rock them new jeans to school? Nah, she wanted you to rock me, playboy. Them deep purple sweatpants, cousin. Hey, remember when we showed up to school though? And everybody was buzzing like, oh, look at what that fool wearing though. He got on his grandma's outfit though. Yo, that was the happiest day of my life, cousin. But you remember when we was in class that one time, right? You remember. It was the first day you got some erection, son. And you had to stand up in front of class and shit. And you turned on red and shit. But it was really purple with your black ass. And we was matching after that, cuz. Yo, good times, baby, good times. But yo, how come we don't chill no more for real? Oh, that's right. I remember. You threw a nigga under the hamper after that. Uh-huh. I served 22 years cause of you, cousin. You don't know the things I seen. Sweaty undershirts, bloody panties, shit stained drawers, dog. Did I deserve that, cuz? We was tight. Mainly because I was like 2 sizes too small, but still, I thought we was gonna be together forever. It's cool. I ain't hurt. I ain't gonna be no bitch for real. So, I got a new spot over on Dresser Drawer Avenue. I've been chilling with my homie Suspenders, my dude Snowsuit, my old dude Windbreaker, and all my cousins from Out of Season and Salvation Army Boulevard, cuz. And my old dude Bowtie, he real tight. And every now and then we all get together and play spades, talk about the good old days.
All right, from low to high, we have an 8, an 8.7, a 9, a 9.3, and a 10. Give it up for Phoenix. All right. Deacon had a score of 26.3. Give it up for the poet. Next up, the poet formerly known as Andrew.
I gave up my mystery. Sometime between middle school bulimia and high school robo-tripping in exchange for a bit of subversive backbone. Perhaps it was this realization that kept me from telling you I went back to Mass this morning. I pretended it was an indifference to your plea to give Jesus one more chance through adult eyes instead of mixed-up kid eyes. All I have to do is tell you that I stayed after to meet with Father Edward, timid hand outstretched, offering the parish visitor's card like a confession. But I cannot find it within myself to open your email and type two nonplussed words. Sure, Mom. I found my mystery again. It brushed my fingertips at the bottom of the bowl of holy water. It cushioned my knees as I knelt after communion. I can't imagine what it is like to carry the conviction that your daughter's thick-skulled, semi-intellectual bullshit will propel her into eternal torture. I can't bring myself to tell you that you were the reason I left in the first place, or that if the plea had come from anyone else, it is unlikely that I would have felt sick on the church steps. I only take comfort in knowing that my return has nothing to do with you.
All right, from low to high, we have an 8, an 8.1, an 8.8, an 8.8, and a 9. Give it up for that really long name. That really long not a name. All right, Phoenix had a score of 27. Give it up for the poet. Our next competitor is Joshua Gage.
I imagined this as my group piece, maybe next year. So let me welcome everybody to the Buckeye State, where the Erie City known as the Mistake on the Lake, where the poets run as deep as tectonic plates, and verse after verse will make your earth quake. We're the Buckeye crew from Northeast Ohio, 6 to 12 inches an hour piled higher, and poem after poem, our tongues never tire, and we'll rhyme so hot we set the river on fire. Holy Moses spread the seas and he put his name under, but in Windham County, Mass, they put his frame under. So we're here to raise up Cleveland like the 8th world wonder. So if you down with C-Town, hold up your Dortmunder for the diamonds in the rough from the emerald necklace. Other crews serious as AIDS, but they can't infect us. Cleveland is the cathedral we're gonna erect. So if you pilgrimage in peace, then yo, come check us. Thank you.
All right, from low to high, that got an 8.7, a 9, a 9.1, a 9.2, and a 9.8. Give it up for Josh. The poet formerly known as Andrew had a score of 25.7. Give it up for the poet. Our next competitor is A.J. Rollins.
For Ryan, the last love poem from a broken heart. This is the last time I will write you. Love is the God we have been searching ourselves for. When we say God, we are really saying love. I know you God me. I know you prayed to God. I prayed to God you back to keep you in between my wrists like 11:59 and 12:01 keeps midnight, baby. You had me blowing like a bag in the wind. I have searched my whole life for the person whose hand fits best in mine, whose legs don't sit awkward and sad when we tangle up like a tree on brown limbs beneath an old hand-me-down bed sheet. Every love I had, all those X's on the test of my life were just so I could get all of your answers right. My lips still taste the whisper of our first kiss. Our first kiss is still a rumor. The open and shut valves of our heart tell each other mine is open. I want to say yours is closed, but I don't know what your heart is doing these days. I'm sorry that I have filled your side of the bed with other men. Men without the awkward smile in your limbs, without the searchlight in their grip, how we could lay in the same bed, but they never found me, how you always found me through this midnight skin. I know how to hold them like a forever with no legs and no need for them. Baby, I know you claim to be an atheist, but I want to fall in God with you and come out as one person. The hole in my heart is tired of asking when you're coming home. It knows you are its creator and waits for you like a second coming from a father who never planned to return to this. What a strange irony. Birth is the cruelest joke life tells. To begin something is to inevitably say that this will one day end. How quickly can God die? How small and stillborn is something that has a beginning that is its end. I will never know our love's first word or the children we talked about raising like two excited architects planning a city. We spoke their names the night and laughed at the beauty of how quickly we loved the baby girl that we hadn't even fought for yet. I will never know how our daughter would have been, but I will always know her name. Ryan, how could you leave me with her name? This is the last time I will write you. Everything broken in the human body heals, never the same as it was before. My heart will heal in the way it makes it perfect for the one who is supposed to love it. I'm afraid that when he comes to claim what is in my chest, he will find nothing but a pitiful haiku note saying, "Dear final lover, you may take all that is left. I'm sorry for the cracks."
All right. From low to high, that scored a 9.3, a 9.4, a 9.5, a 9.8, and a 10. Josh had a score of 27.3. Give it up for Josh. Our next competitor is currently in conversation. Our next competitor is Azriel Johnson.
You're a man, right? Such an odd question for a stranger to ask. I'm wearing a beard and a mustache, a bandana, a genuine leather docker's hat. I think I look like a man. The person addressing me reminds me of one of my best friends from a few years back. You're a man, right? Yeah, I try to be. He tells me how his girlfriend hits him, how he's leaving her for what can only be described as emotional abuse. Her baby daddy lives with them. My single-serving friend pays the rent. How's she gonna afford $800 rent now? And plus gas and utility. I scoff. I empathize. I've been where he is. Will you stand for it if a girl was hitting you? You want to hit her back, right? I nod. I'm not sure this is a discussion I want to get into. He's right when he says how if he were the one hitting her, he would be put in jail. Another stranger comes to smoke a cigarette at our bus stop. You going up to Cleveland, man? Nah, I'm heading for the Arlington Road. Man, I'm getting the hell up out of here. Yeah, the problem is, you're still in Ohio. You come for the excitement, you leave with an indictment. I'm skeptical when my single-serving friend says you can get to Canada for $5. The other stranger says they wouldn't let him in if he tried as he walked back to his stop. I just bought our kids a pair of jeans each. Who's she gonna get to buy him jeans now? Ha! I'm glad this guy is able to vent. I'm standing near him folding construction paper guns. My own experience made me wish I had real guns when they happened. Man, last time I was in Cleveland, I found me some hoes last summer. I didn't want to leave, all kinds of hoes. I refrained from commenting that a hoe is what got him in this mess in the first place. This isn't a conversation I want to have. This is a lesson he has to learn on his own. She'll be sorry when I'm gone, that crazy bitch. She better not fuck with my stuff. I can't believe she would go and do something so fucked up. I need to get the fuck up out of this setup. I keep imagining his girlfriend rolling up and a fight occurring. She trying to bring him home and my single-serving friend resisting. I root for him to release himself from her grasp. Will he? He can only hope. But I did.
All right, from low to high, we have an 8, an 8, an 8.6, an 8.9, and an 8.9. Give it up for the poet. Akeem had a score of 28.7. You didn't get a time penalty. You came in at 3:01, which kept you in the 10-point grace period. That was a 523-word poem. I didn't count staring angrily at the milk steamer. No, you were engaging the coffee machine. But I didn't start that. I didn't start the timer there. Okay, I'm babbling up here now. Our next competitor is Skylark.
wanted to live surrounded by beauty. He didn't find it in the mirror. He didn't find it in disappearing family. He didn't find it in health. The malignants found him and tried to beat him down. It couldn't gloom its toothless smile under an old ball cap, declaring him a union man. Tumors winched his legs together, but they couldn't stop his gnarled fingers from outfitting his electric wheelchair with something new each week. Harold rumbled into the community meal in the park. Barbie dolls in shiny dresses and bikinis hung from the corners of his homemade umbrella. Harold, are these your girlfriends? Harold beamed. Nope, they're my guardian angels. It's too bad Mattel didn't make a Robin Hood Barbie, a vigilante to pillage their ample coffers for Harold's hospital bills. When Harold wasn't in the hospital, a senior, shabby discount apartment passed for his home. He never missed the Sunday meal in the park. Coveralls masked his depleted skin and over-medicated body. Barbie dolls, Christmas lights, and streamers adorned his chair and attachments. Guardian Barbie, I wish Harold may, I wish Harold might, have no pain at all tonight. We cooked lunches to soft, barely chewy perfection. Harold was hardly the only guest with dental issues. Come on, man, move back. Let the wheelchairs go first. Harold would need extra time with ill-fitting dentures before the hot meal ran cold. Then came September, and Harold didn't. His apartment building neighbor said Harold had eaten his last supper. Hang a Barbie from your umbrella, call it an angel, and remember to let the wheelchair people eat first.
All right. From low to high, we have an 8.5, an 8.9, a 9.2, a 9.5, and a 9.6. Give it up for Skylark. Azriel had a score of 25.5. Applaud for the poet, not the points. Our final competitor of the evening, Eris Zion Vinay.
Hell hath no fury like a woman with a yeasty vagina. For those who have never felt the devil dancing in Ladytown, imagine, if you will, what it would feel like to swallow Pop Rocks chased with a shot of tequila. My legs are in the stirrups. The doctor comes in, pries my vagina open with 2 ice-cold salad tongs and says, I see you're experiencing some irritation. She writes me a prescription for Terrazol cream. I'm sentenced to 3 days of injecting my cunt like a cannoli before my man can feast on me without sneezing honey buns and crescent rolls. I am irate and chafed, and everyone seems to want to know how I'm doing, to which I reply, I'm fine, other than this vaginosis causing a forest fire in my crotch. Toilet paper feels like sandpaper. And if my vagina could grow legs, she would do a double layout from between my thighs, leaving Gabby Douglas with a silver medal, wondering what happened. There is no fury, no disdain, no scorn that could capture the discharging pits of hell that I am experiencing. Be afraid, my friends. Be very afraid.
All right. From low to high, we have a 9.5, a 9.7, a 9.8, a 10, and another 10. Give me a second to do some math. I hate math. I hate math. All right. Skylark had a score of 27.6. Give it up for Skylark. That gives Eris a score of 29.5. Give it up for the poet. That means in... Just double checking. In third place is Skylark with her 27.6. Second place, Akeem with his 28.7. And tonight's winner is Eris with her 29.5. We have one last qualifier before our Grand Slam tomorrow at the Literary Cafe in Tremont. That's in Cleveland. That's a part of Cleveland, even though I think everybody in here should know that. It'll be as part of the Writing Night show at 7 o'clock. That will be the last qualifier. We may add a last chance slam. It has not yet been confirmed. There's a lot of conflicting events going on through the rest of this month, and I don't know that we can get it squeezed in. We may throw one in next First Friday here, but I'd rather not have the last chance slam be in Canton as opposed to Cleveland, so I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening yet. We may also do a last chance slam right before the final. I have to confirm and verify and work out some details before I can determine any of that. But again, one more qualifier tomorrow night. I have a question, yes. Next week? We could do that. Well, no, yeah, we could do that. I can MC it. Okay, hey, this is just confirmed. We will have a last chance slam next week on Friday at the Deep Cleveland Poetry Hour at Mugshots Cafe in North Royalton. It's on right on Route 82, about halfway between 77 and 71. Yeah, awesome. All right. Awesome. We'll have a last chance slam at Deep Cleveland next week. And then we have our last qualifier will be tomorrow. A last chance slam. Our finalists are already determined. Only the winner of the last chance slam will get the last spot at finals. So it is not a regular point competition. It is a single slam in which the winner gets the last spot at the Grand Slam. Yeah. If you're already finalized, you can compete, but you're already qualified. It'll be the highest score of somebody who has not already qualified for finals. I see another hand? No? Okay. All right. That wraps up this show. We will be back here for Stardust Poetry in 2 weeks. We will be debuting... Oh, yeah, we will be debuting Inside the Walls of a Blackened Book by A.J. Huffman, who is from Daytona Beach, Florida. Unfortunately, because of that 18-hour distance, she won't be able to be here to feature. However, we got Kathleen Gallagher, who has a book recently published by Writing Nights Press, and J.E. Stanley, who has recent books published by both Night Ballet Press just last month and Crisis Chronicles Press about a year and a half ago. So it's the other three presses that I work with at Neopoets. So we'll have their features here, and I'll probably read some stuff from AJ's book. So that'll be Stardust Poetry. That show is not live streamed, so you kind of have to come here. If this is mostly for people watching at home, or hey, all of you too, I've decided to do something absolutely insane and attempt a 30-30 thing for National Poetry Month. Only instead of writing poems myself, I've decided to try to get 30 podcasts up over the through the month of April. So far, I have managed to get a new podcast up, Poet Saving Presents podcast, every day. We're only 5 days in. I haven't collapsed from exhaustion yet, but I will keep trying to get them out every day. No idea who's next. I'm literally pulling names out of a box. I've got all the recorded shows, got the features names written on old bookmarks that I can't distribute anymore because I shut down that website, and I'm pulling them out of a box, so completely random order of who's getting released. I know the next couple ones that I've already got done, and that's as far as I know. So, Alana Bell's feature was just released today. Okay, next month, First Friday Poetry Spectacular will be here. I do not know who the feature will be because the person I was trying to get to feature can't do it and is now probably going to be June's feature. It'll be tied to a book release. He's a very, very well-known poet on the Northeast Ohio small press scene. Mark QR. The guy currently emceeing the show that Mark Kuhar started is about ready to collapse over there out of his chair. So, all right. Again, and hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow at the Writing Night Show for our last qualifier. Thank you all. Have a wonderful night.